Hey, how are you?
Oh, maintaining. How are you?
I'm here. I'm interested in this episode. I think this was your idea, right? Or was it mine?
Nah, it was my idea. I'm gonna take my credit
Mm.
because I'm sure 2 episodes from now you'll be telling people I don't never give no idea.
That's not true. Okay. You ready to start the episode?
Sure thing.
Start the show? How do I say it?
Start the show.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to or welcome back to One Man and One Woman, the podcast. I am one half of your co hosts, Tara Michelle.
And I am Jada Flan.
I want you to lead in the intro too when I messed up and tripped up and when I laughed. I think it's cute. And this too. So, guys, we have a really beautiful episode, I think, today. I just got through seeing the movie Sinners, so I'm in an emotional state. So this is going to be beautiful and grand for me. And I always appreciate it when Flan gives us his ideas, whether he's hijacking them in real time or he sends it in early. It's always fun, and it's going to be beautiful and black and proud and excellent and all that good stuff. So today we're going to be talking about two or three people that we just want to bring to your attention. Um, I love to talk about Black excellence because far too often it is whitewashed or erased from history where we never hear the names of these great people who invented these great things like Black Sam. A lot of y'all think that Thomas Edison has done a lot of things that he didn't. Black Sam did a lot of those things, and yet a white man took the credit. So today we just want to bring some people to the forefront who are spreading joy while being Black, living in excellence, and trying to make sure that as many Black people that they can reach. Can feel that as well, who can prosper and benefit from it. And I just think it's beautiful. And I just love the whole concept. So, wait a minute. Before you start, I'm so sorry. Let me also say this. I know this is weird because I grew up Baptist. And then when I was 16, I became non denominational Christian. I just want to say rest in peace to Pope Francis. And now on the radio, they kept saying things like religions. I didn't know he was 88. Dude was so suave and so young and progressive in his thinking. I remember when somebody asked him, "What do you think about priests being gay?" Like when they were all that mess was coming out, about what the priests were doing, and instead of getting fired or jailed or punished, they would just move to different parishes. He was like, "Who am I to judge?" And it reminded people what that book they love so much called the Bible says, thou shalt not judge. He talked about forgiveness. He talked about not turning your back. A lot of y'all don't realize that Jesus hung out with everybody, whores included. Understand, Jesus was that guy. I mean, and I don't know, whatever your religion is, whatever you believe he is, if you just think he's a prophet, think he's the son of God, however you go, he still was that dude that did not turn up his nose to anyone, was willing to work with anyone, forgive anybody. Who are we who are we to if it's consensual, if it's not harming anyone, a lot of priests could have this pull to think that they're not think but be gay or want the same sex, right? Where they mess up is when they're messing with underage people and when they break their vow of chastity or whatever it is. You can have thoughts, it's whether or not you act on them, but he still didn't want to get involved in that and judge. I think that we could learn a lot from him. And I pray, honestly, that he did die of natural causes. Because I wouldn't put it past them wrong. Anyway, I ain't gonna say, but y'all heard about the Vatican. We know how they get down. And, the reason we had that great schism is because they out here charging people money, talking about they can buy you in heaven. Don't play with the history. And that's not to offend anybody who's Catholic. Not all Catholics are like that. But we know in every religion we got some corrupt people. Anyway, just rest in peace to Pope Francis. I have a very close up picture of him when he was here in St. Louis that my love Jim took, because of course he went to see his Pope, okay, and gave to me. And I cherish it because I just appreciated the fact that he wasn't some stuck up old man thinking that it was his job to judge everyone and not forgive. I thought he was a cool dude. So rest in peace, Pope Francis.
Rest in peace.
Now, would you like to tell us about the first person that
Yeah.
you chose today?
Well, yeah, I talk on the show on the show all the time about let's be the light or let's show the light. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about what we don't like, and how much of it do we actually spend time about what we like. So, yeah, I thought I would go through some of the people I see some doing some amazing work right now, and I don't think any of these people are really off the radar. They're not off the radar to me, and they're popular enough that they made it. You know, they made it to my inbox or my timeline. So maybe they did yours too. But I just want to, I don't know, maybe give them their flowers while I can. So I think I'll start with because this guy works with. I see he's helping out men in general, but I see a lot of the work that he does specifically with boys and preparing them for manhood. But Jason Wilson, um, you probably know him as like the karate dude. He has a I guess he has a studio or a dojo, and there's a lot of videos of him, training young men, and a lot of them are him dealing with those boys in the midst of frustration or pain. They've attempted to do something and they can't, and just him standing there and talking them through it, allowing them the space to be hurt. There's one of my favorite videos of his is I think the boy is in a plank and he's telling them you got to hold the plank, and and he's letting them know it's okay to cry, like it hurts. He's like, go ahead, cry, let it out, get that emotion out. It's okay to have that emotion, and don't look around the room and see who else is or isn't crying. It isn't about them. Like they whether what they're doing does not have an impact on your experience. But throughout all of this, maintain the plank. You still got to do the work. You get to experience the emotion, feel the emotion, express the emotion, but you still got to do the work. And that that is manhood. I saw him talking. I forget the name of the lady. I sent you the clip, but he was on one of the talk shows recently, and he was just saying how we have taken the word masculinity and made it, you know, the only portion of manhood there is. Masculinity is a part of manhood, but it is not manhood in and of itself. And I think his book is called The Comprehensive Man. And again, I men are reaching, I guess, an emotional awakening or some, if that's a term we can use. And I think one of his things that he said, because the suicide rate for men has always been significantly higher than women. And I think he said on the show, men aren't tired of living, they're tired of not living. And so just, I think he's doing great work, especially with young men, but also with, men my age and older, just understanding, you know, this process of this, how to be in touch with your emotions, how to feel stuff and I guess express it properly without feeling like it's a pass to not be a man in that moment. Like you still have your responsibilities, you still have things that you have to take care of, you still have people that are looking to you for protection and for guidance. And those responsibilities don't go away because you're upset, hurt, embarrassed, afraid, any of those things. But you're allowed to experience those things, express those things, and maintain your responsibilities. And so, yeah, Jason Wilson was the first one I wanted to prop up. I'll start with, who's working with the kids, and we work our way up.
I love that. I love that. And I had seen his videos and I'm glad that you're showcasing him and it's it's beautiful to see black men working with young boys. It's been so many times that I've been on the internet and something has happened with a black athlete or some podcast where some man is talking about something, and all the white men, the first thing that they say is, "Bet you he grew up without a father," or there are comedians who make jokes about, you know, some level of, black men not knowing a father or having a father or knowing what a father is and things like that. I saw a clip with someone asking XXX Tentacion about his father, and he said, "Father, what is that? What even is that?" You know what I'm saying? And so we don't see it enough. I share these pictures and things like that when I see the daddy daughter dances and the daddy daughter this that, and the third, and it's so cute. But we need to get more fathers and sons in here. I am blessed that my children, um, my youngest two's father also took care of my older two as well. But he is the most excellent, outstanding example of a father anybody in my family's ever seen because the other dads weren't there. Not since my great granddaddy. Yeah. All the generation in between that were just awful. I've had the luxury and the pleasure of seeing you and how you care about your daughter. Anybody who has listened to What is TWS has also heard, him talk about his daughter and do segments about his daughter. So we need to see that more. So I'm loving seeing fathers and their sons, fathers and their daughters, black men stepping up because guess what? There are a lot of fathers out here. I think statistically, there are more black men who are still in the household than there aren't. We just wouldn't know that because that's not what they're gonna promote. They're gonna take the negative and show that, which of course you always say.
I was gonna bring that up. Like, that the perception is black men as absent fathers and black boys don't know what fathers are. But I think I'm looking at um, a study that CBS News put out in 2023 that statistically black dads are more involved in their child's lives than other groups. So maybe there's some guys that are compensating because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like absentee fathers in our community don't exist. Absolutely, they do. But there are a lot of us that are there.
Okay, so my person that I want to talk about isn't living anymore, but I still thought that it would be, or I would be remiss if I didn't, tell you guys about him. I saw this in a reel on Facebook. His name was Reginald F. Lewis, and he was the first African American to become a billionaire here. So he was a genius deal maker, like for real, not like Trump claims he is, but for real, for real. And so he bought out like a company that was called like Beatrice Foods or something like that. And I think he bought it for like $985 million. And in the first year of him taking it over and renaming it like TLC Beatrice Incorporated or something like that, he made deals in finance and international stuff and um made over $400 million in profit in the first year of acquiring this business. He gave so much money to HBCUs. This man was a champion of Black excellence and Black wealth and just so much. There's a plethora of things. Again, his name, because I want you guys to look him up yourself, is Reginald F. Lewis. And he did this acquisition in 1984. He died in like 93 or 90 something from brain cancer. But what I want you guys to notice is that most of us have never heard. Have you heard of him before? Most of us have
I
never
have
heard of
not.
him before. And that was intentional with Wall Street and with white people in general. They did not want black people to see a black man moving like this, making this kind of money, doing these kind of acquisitions, and being successful, and then going out and teaching what he knew and his skill set and how he did this and how he accomplished it. He's not in any textbooks. When I first did a search for him, because I couldn't remember his name and I couldn't remember where I had saved the video, they gave me the name of somebody else. Um, Let me see if yeah, they gave me Robert L. Johnson, the co-founder of BET. He absolutely positively was not the first black billionaire. But again, because this man gave so much, wasn't caught up in any controversy, and was a stellar example of what a black man is. Like we black men are intelligent. Black men make moves. They can look at patterns and money and things like that and see just like any other person of any ethnicity, what would be a good idea? Yeah, I should buy this. No, I shouldn't buy this. But you don't get to see that. Like myself, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know that we had any black men billionaires. I don't, really pay attention to stuff like that, but it's good to know now. The only black billionaire I know of is Oprah Winfrey. Like, I literally don't know anybody else who's a black billionaire. Ask us why. We know about Jeff Bezos. We know about Elon Musk. We know about Trump. The media is guilty of this, never wanting to show or give credit to us for the excellence that we accomplish, those things that we do, and especially if we're out here trying to unite one another. So do yourself a favor. I just ask this for your to edify your own soul, your own heart, your own mind. Every once in a while, even if it's just once a month, try it once a week, but once a month, go out there and Google search some stuff. Or better yet, try to TikTok it or Instagram it where you can get some information from outside of the United States. Because again, when I did that Google search, they gave me the wrong name for the first African American billionaire. male. And I had to remember, ooh, it was Beatrice LLC or something like that. And when I typed that in, that is when Google gave me the correct answer. But let's educate ourselves on where we came from. I think you would be, as Black people, I think you will be so proud to know what your ancestors did. And it doesn't have to be just the ancestors from 500 years ago. This man just died in the 90s. This man was out here doing this in 1984. There was plenty of opportunity for all of the news channels to tell us what he was on and what he was doing. And yet, that's not what they wanted to focus on. So if we want to learn anything and we want to teach our kids things, you know how important it is for, when Ariel came out, when Halle Bailey did Ariel, all those Black women and Black men wanted to take their kids and their daughters to see that the Little Mermaid could be Black. When we talk about representation in movies, when we talk about showing each other where we come from, that we created genres of music, people still don't seem to understand we created country because again it was hijacked and whitewashed. There's a lot of cultural appropriation. It is okay. There are places and spaces that we can go and we can show our kids representations. Show your kids Black astronauts. Show your kids Black scientists, Black judges, Black lawyers. Let your kids understand that they don't just have to be an athlete or a stripper or a rapper to go and do something and make money and enjoy life. So shout out again to the Black man that they tried to silence. Shout out to the people who are all over social media showing what he's accomplished and what he's done. And shout out to any of you who actually go and look up Mr. Reginald F. Lewis, and share that information with everybody that you know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I did not know. I had not heard that name before. So that's you learn something every day, or you should be. Uh, so yeah, to go to stay on the financial, I'll change gears, and I'll save the best for last because I found out something interesting about this last dude that I'm very excited about. But to go to a businessman living right now, John Hope Bryant. Um, I don't know if you know the name. Yeah, you've probably seen him. He's been on the Breakfast Club. He's dropping reels and TikToks all the time, preaching financial literacy and talking about building generational wealth and how to do it. There's a clip out there where he basically says, I can make anybody a millionaire in 5 years, and he lays out what needs to be done. It's work, but if you come and he has I think he runs he founded the Operation Hope, which is an organization dedicated to teaching underserved communities financial literacy. So you can go to the Operation Hope website and you can, you know, tap in and get some access to some of these resources and help to make us more financially literate. But yeah, he's out there giving away the information. He's giving away the information. I don't know what his net worth is, but it's a lot, and he's giving away the information bit by bit. I could take you through some of his accolades. He was one of America's 50 most promising leaders for the future, selected by Time Magazine in 1994. First African American to be knighted by German nobility.
Wow,
That's
that's amazing. I didn't even know that was a thing.
interesting.
That's amazing.
You know, you learn something new every day. I think he worked in President Obama's cabinet as vice chair of the U.S. President's Advisory Council on Financial Literacy, and served on a committee directly responsible for serving underserved communities. So he's one of us. He talks like one of us. He talks to us, and he talks to us about how we can get in this game. I think a lot of us we are realizing right now that the world, especially the world of money, it is monopoly. It is a game, and if you know the rules, you know you can play it. Trump came out and said, "I know the tax code is broken because I exploit every last one of them holes in it." They know the rules, we don't. And Mr. Bryant is trying to teach you the rules. So I thought I wanted to prop up John Hope Bryant because if we have leaders out here. We do have leaders. We have Black excellence in our face and people who are willing to help and try to push us forward in the right direction. I think John Hope Bryant is one of those people.
Okay, y'all, you heard what he said. Go and look him up. You know what? I'm gonna look him up myself because I ain't gonna hold you. I got 5 years to become a millionaire. Like I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. I wouldn't even. begin to know what I would want to do that. What I need to do is sit down and write a book. Okay. That's what I need to do. The next person I want to talk to you guys about is somebody I'm so in love with. Like, and I mean that as respectfully as possible, because I don't know if this man what this man's personal life is. I don't know him for real. So when I say that, I just mean he's super dope. Okay, so his name is Ibrahim Traore. I've talked about him on the show before. I have posted about him and shared all kinds of stuff on Instagram and Facebook. So he is currently the president, or he might still be the interim president of Burkina Faso over there in Africa. Yeah, this guy is no joke. He just survived another attempt at his life. This is like the ninth, 10th attempt to assassinate him. He is 37 years old. And real quick, St. Louis, stand up, because this man was born on March 14th. So we gonna claim him in the 314, okay? I'm so excited. I just found that. I'm so excited. He's 37 years old, born in 1988. And what he has done is he has decided to give freedom to Burkina Faso. He has decided to separate from the colonial, captors, colonizers, which is France. And ever since he's come into office, he has gathered all their resources are theirs now. Nobody is over there stealing and raping and pillaging the lands of Africa and Burkina Faso. He's come up with his own coalition and his own group of other presidents who are doing the same thing. They're going to lease the land that they want to who they want to. There are, huge corporations and France want him out of there. Why? Because this man, oh my God, his vision, his strategic, the way he moves strategically, that those army generals that back him, they are the ones who just foiled this coup, by the way. There are other generals who don't like him because they're old school and they are getting their pockets fed by these corporations and by France to turn on people who look like them, to turn their own people. And luckily, somebody gave them the information and said, yo, they going to storm the palace. They coming for him. If they'd have got that information a day later, it would be another flag flying. I can't imagine what it feels like to live every day knowing that at any moment, by poisoning, by bombing, by setting somebody, like just like with Fred Hampton, getting somebody that's on the inside close to you, being betrayed by them and losing your life because you want to free your people, because you want to free your land. He's so dope, y'all. Please go look him up. We need multiple of him, like 2,000 to do. We need him in everywhere where black people need to be assembled, educated, taught to love one another, taught to trust in one another, believe in one another, and build together. This man excites me. This man gives me hope for people. Like I'm not normally a people person, but there are just several things that have been happening to me over the past year or two, maybe three, that have given me this sense of I just want to be around my people. I want to be around people who look like me, of all shades, all hues, and I want to build. I really do want to build together. I buy black. I all the time. Purses and bags. They're black owned. Hair care products. Even my lippies. I only buy black owned now. And it's not to say that other people aren't doing good things, but I want to support people who I know aren't getting supported properly. We know that we get the highest tax rates and interest rates if we are allowed to get the loans with the red line. There's so much terrible stuff that happens to black people just trying to get out here and make it. To what Flan was talking about with his person, he wants to teach you how to be a millionaire in 5 years. You can take some of that information from him. You can take some of those battle plans, not for war, but for freeing yourself from debt, from freeing your community from all the outsiders of every other ethnicity but your own, and start to police your own community and build your community, that black wealth. I just feel like I find this dude to be the most amazing person walking the face of the planet right now. And everything I can learn about him, I do. And I can't pronounce half the stuff they be talking about. And I even watch his videos when he's not speaking English. He can do both. He probably speaks multiple languages, but I just want to feel his light through the phone. So, in talking about that and growth, for you black people out there who don't know about Black Wall Street, or all you know is that, and you don't know how many cities were actually like that all over the country, and you can't see the reality. Do you know I've talked to people before and I've said things like, "We could do this. If they brought back segregation, we could do this." People are like, "How we gonna get a hospital? And what about the grocery stores?" Let me tell you a little something I found um about Black Wall Street on Facebook, and I vetted it. I found it a lot of places, and Wikipedia one of them. It was founded in 1908 and it was destroyed in 1921 by white people in this country who bombed that city, wanted to kill everybody and destroy everything. Let's just start there, okay? This is what they had: 600 businesses. Don't tell me we can't do it. 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, two movie theaters, because you know we need a movie theater, six private airplanes, plus a hospital, a bank, a post office, law offices, and even a bus system. In 1908, that is what they were able to do. Kept it going to 1921 to outsiders, evil, horrible people came and ruined it. Why? Because when we get together, we are successful. We do not need anyone else. And if we get together and build like that, other people know that their money's gone. Because how many trillions is the black dollar spent every year? You know what I'm saying? And I also heard another story about a man who really invented the hot wings. They wiped him out too of existence because they wanted to be the creators of everything. There's so much, you know what? We got to do this more than just once. Like we got to do this like on a regular basis because I just need us to understand how great we are. I'm so passionate about us understanding what we can accomplish. Okay. That was long. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
All good, all good. But yeah, this last guy, was a big fan.
You ain't got nothing you want to say about Ibrahim?
I think you covered it. I,
Okay.
um,
You got it.
this last guy, I was already a big fan of his, and then like just reading up on him a little bit to be prepared for this, discovered something extra dope about him. And I promise I'm not trying to one up in any way, but Kier Gaines, um, the licensed therapist who's also like a social media personality. I didn't know he was from Southeast DC. It's my man, 100 grand.
Oh, you can't one up nobody if that's what
I,
you're
we,
talking about. DC,
no,
ew.
we're not talking
I'm
about
just
like
fun, just fun, just fun, just fun, just
his
fun, just fun.
birthday match my area code. No, like he from where I'm from, for real. But
Oh, this too petty, but you got it.
I tried to not go there, but you had to, so here we are. But he's a licensed therapist, digital content creator. Dude is legitimately like the real life Cosby show. Like his wife is a intellectual property lawyer. So you got a licensed therapist and intellectual property lawyer married to each other with two black daughters. Like is if we're saying it's not real or it doesn't exist, hell yeah, it does. And then some of the content that he makes. So I talked about Jason Wilson, and a lot of his content is him working with young boys, but he does speak to men as well. Not saying he doesn't do both. Kier stuff seems more geared toward adult black men. Would love to put him in contact with Kanye West if we could work that out. But just listening to watching his clips and watching his reels, and again, a lot of it is about teaching men how to identify the emotion and express it appropriately. One of the things I'm learning is a lot of times we express an emotion that's different than what we're feeling. We feel disappointment, but we show anger. We feel, well, it's almost always anger. We feel fear,
Yeah,
but we show anger. We
yeah,
fear, we feel whatever it is, but we only have this default way to express it. And a lot of his reels are about just understanding what's going on, addressing it, expressing it, but again, never using that as an excuse to let go of your responsibility. It's not a way to absolve you of any responsibility, or it's not a way to excuse you from the work of life. You need to be able to do both. And then he and his wife sit down and do shows together. And it's some of the, if you're in a relationship or you are thinking about how a successful marriage works or how a marriage could work, it's dope content just to see. I've watched them not have arguments, but you know, go back and forth in trying to figure something out and be able to do it in a way that's constructive and people are being seen and heard and getting what they want, and compromises are being made. And sometimes, for a lot of us, if you've never seen it, of course you don't know how to do it, and somebody could explain it to you till they're blue in the face, but it's nothing like watching it happen, seeing two people do it, and for it to click and make sense to you. So again, I think
Have you ever sent a video of them to me?
I don't think I've sent the video of the couple speaking, but again, to me, it's dope content for me. Again, this is in the mental health space, but there's a lot of us that are struggling with that right now, and I think for us, for dudes, it's especially important. I remember being in marriage counseling before I got married, and then passing me a worksheet or something, and it had a wheel of emotions on it. And I swear it had to be like 150 different little sections on this thing that was supposed to be different emotions. And yet my first reaction was, there are all of there are this many feelings. Like, I don't understand any. I know happy, sad, mad, tired, sleepy. I'm confused about all of this. What is all of this? And so yeah, starting to understand, like, I'm not angry. I'm frustrated. I'm not angry. I'm embarrassed. Um, just starting to understand that, and then figure out constructive ways, or the appropriate way to express that, or or just the less harmful way to express that. Uh, I I think it's meaningful content, and it's stuff that a lot of us men need to hear right now. So yeah, Kier Gaines, Kier Gaines. Check him out. Check him out. But yeah, shout out to DC. You doing it.
Ooh, but okay. Yeah, you gotta send me the couple thing. However, um, my last person is a person that I actually discovered, not discovered. What the I wrote down last week. So, guys, what you don't know is, or if you are a valued listener like Sean and others, um, last week's show we were supposed to do this subject matter. I was not ready, and we were going to try to wing it anyway, though. And oh no, we had picked some other stuff, some other questions I'm looking at right now. And if you were here, Flan decided to hijack the conversation and because he needed to talk about something. And that's what we did. But during that episode, I figured out who I wanted to make my third person. So listen, let me tell you something. This is something that we do often. We talked about this in podcasting, right? So you will have a podcast. I have a podcast with this man. I have a podcast with Flan. We post about our podcast, okay? And we talk about how hard it is to get your family and your friends, people who really know you, to support. But you will watch those same people show every clip of Joe Budden, Joe Rogan, Trevor Noah, and whoever else has a podcast. And we don't shine the light on people that we know doing real work. There are no millionaires behind and billionaires and all of this stuff behind some of the good work that people are doing. So my third person is playing himself. He just explained perfectly what I was going to say. He is fearlessly willing to just be himself in front of people. He knows our friends are watching. He knows, people who he knows are watching. A lot of black men aren't comfortable having these conversations. And Flan and I have also talked to you guys numerous amount of times about the people that we know who become caricatures of themselves when they do podcasts. Almost nothing that they say is real. It's not who they are. And I have met people, in real life and been like that. Who you claim to be? You're not like this at all. You're a big old teddy bear, but you're just angry, this, that, and the third all the time, and it's interesting to me. But I wanted to say, I saw for the first time when I was on YouTube, because I went to YouTube and I always listen to the episode all the way through and try to write down the timestamps of where I want to make my reels. And we had more views in like that first, however long it was, than I've ever seen us have on the YouTube channel. A lot of people listen on Spotify and other places like that, but YouTube, the numbers were higher than I had ever seen them after I shared the first reel. And that reel was with him talking about emotions. And it was with him talking about having a bad day at work and what he went through when he made his confessions about how emotional he gotten. I thought it was dope. Listen, I'm not one who grew up with men who were emotional. I always thought that men were supposed to be stoic. So this new explosion of men finding their emotions and just like letting them fall out and burst out everywhere is different for me. But I do respect the way that he does it. I heard from two of my male friends who listened to the reels. I don't know if either I think one of them listened to the whole episode. Um but he was listening to those reels and he was like, and even Boom said like it was like we were talking about his whole life, explaining his whole life. But my friend was like, I could never do that. I could never get up and admit to anyone, including my mom, that was so emotional that I cried. Half the time when I'm at home by myself and I'm hurt, I don't allow myself to cry. That's how I was raised. And so I think it's very important when you have men who are just regular schmegular men. They're not TV personalities and super rich anything, stand up there and say, I'm human and I'm a man. And for me to function correctly and for me to be healthy and happy mentally and emotionally, I have to stand up here and I have to be authentically who I am. You're going to get that whenever you deal with him, but it's a different breed when the climate everywhere right now. Women who don't want to hear dudes and their emotions. They being called sassy and zesty for standing up for themselves and saying what they want. Other men call them soft, corny, whatever it is, to still sit there in your truth on the freaking internet and tell people, I get hurt. I get scared. I get anxious. My eyes will water up because I'm so frustrated about something. And, I got to quickly answer a question and move on because I don't want nobody to see me like this. To be that vulnerable and to be that open. I'm not even like that all the time. I've slipped up a couple of times and I'd be pissed for 3 weeks that I cried on a YouTube video, or I could be talking about losing a family member or anything, and I'm still mad because I still see crying in front of people as a weakness. And this man sits here every single show and is as vulnerable and open um, as it calls for. So I think that's dope.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for that. And I think everybody could learn from that. And even though a long time ago when I first met him, he was talking about he wishes that men had a safe space with their homies to be able to be vulnerable, to be able to talk to each other and express their emotions. But at the same time, in the same breath, he was saying he would hate to do it. Like it
Don't
would be
call
so
me.
uncomfortable.
Don't call me.
So
Except for you. Except
so
for you, Kanye. Kanye, you can call. You can call.
I think that if he keeps it up, that's exactly what's going to happen. I feel like people like Flan are going to open up the doors for men to understand it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to express those. But I will stand here 10 toes down and say, men, in your emotional journey, it is not okay for you to punch walls when you're mad. It's not okay for you to destroy the house when you're mad. It's not okay for you to shoot at people. It's not okay for you to beat your girl down emotionally or physically. You have to have a handle on this. So if you need therapy or someone to talk to or a safe space, let's try to find that, because there really is a huge difference in between a man being emotional and having an emotional IQ and trying to open up and share himself with the world, and somebody just being like Taz, the Tasmanian devil from Looney Tunes or wherever he's from. That scares me. I've been in an abusive relationship, so I don't like that. Don't be yelling, don't be fussing up, because, and I'm not saying people can't get mad, but I just feel like with women being the ones always blamed for being overly emotional, and we are batshit crazy most of the times, right? We need you guys to show us. This is the funny part. The people who weren't allowed to have their emotions or show emotions seem to have those who are working through it seem to have mastered their emotional IQ more than the people who have been deemed emotional. And that's because we've been allowed to get away with being ridiculous because we're women. So now if you have it, if you have a grasp on it, it's your job. You have the opportunity. It's your responsibility to lead us and guide us in that direction. So I don't want it to stop I just don't want it to be volatile. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. So Flan, I commend you. I'm in awe of you. You're always doing something I think is super dope. I think it's amazing for a man to get out here and put himself out like that and be open. And let me just say this, a heterosexual male, because gay men will do this, but a heterosexual black man to get up on here on this internet and say, I have emotions, take it or leave it. I think it's hella dope.
And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I do want to say, like, because I have to do this, Tim. This is what I do. Um, it don't come from a place of virtue. Like, I'm not like transparent and I don't vulnerable because I'm just that dope of an individual. A lot of it is just self preservation. I've been, you know, I've been someone who lived in their head and dealt with this stuff and tried to internalize it and not show it for so long, and that it almost killed me. If it would have been up to me, it would have. So a lot of me sharing, I started my podcast as sort of my space to like be around people in private. I got to talk to people or got to get it off my chest and say it in front of someone without someone actually being there. So yeah, I do hope that someone listens and relates, and that's the beautiful experience that I'm having on the internet is connecting with these men from various backgrounds, ages, uh, ethnicities, locations, and seeing our shared experience and being able to talk about some of the stuff, to know that you're not weird or that you're not the only person that's experienced that, or you're not the only person that struggles with that. Um, but again, like, we still have responsibilities as men. We still have a role. We still have your people to care for. And so in all of this, you know, there is space to be vulnerable and have those moments and go through what you need to go through to process whatever you need to process and not internalize it. Um, but we have to, that doesn't absolve us of the work that needs to be done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And yeah, shout out to Kier. Like, when I'm going through some of my stuff, it just, these phones is listening to us, people. 'Cause I swear to God, I can have a conversation.
I swear, folk. Oh my God, my algorithm is on my neck and my heart, and it's picking on me. I think I'm being bullied, but it is what
Phones
it
are
is.
listening. I be talking about
Okay, so
something
we
and then,
this is way
oh yeah.
longer than we normally do. We had like 42 minutes. We got to quit playing these games. So I think I talked about the Pope for 10 minutes. Oh my God, that's my fault. Yeah, I'm sorry. Any words of encouragement for the people?
Um, man, everybody, we need all of us. We need everybody. We need all of your unique talents. So whatever it is that you have, or whatever it is you thinking, or whatever it is, don't you go ahead and share it. We need it. We need it.
Absolutely. And if you are listening to our voices, make sure you go see the movie centers. Lord have mercy. Just go see the movie centers. So, as always, guys, until you hear from us again next week, be sure that you are good to yourself and kind to others. And until then, holla.
Holla.